Hi and welcome to another video. So in our last video we discussed about conditional formatting part 1 where we had taken a look at highlighting cell rules, So I will leave the link to that video in the description box. And in today's video we will discuss about conditional formatting part 2 where we will be talking about top and bottom rules, data bars, color scales and icon sets. So let's get started. Let's select our data as we did in our previous example. So before applying conditional formatting, you select the data where you want to apply the formatting. Go to Home tab and click on Conditional Formatting. And let's come to the second option. For the first one, there is another video. So let's get started with top-bottom rules. So top-bottom rules specify, certain options here for you to, let's say, find the top 10 items or top 10% of the list, bottom 10 items, bottom 10%, above average and below average. So top 10, bottom 10, top 10%, bottom 10% work almost the same way. Let's see. So I go ahead and click on top 10 items and you can see immediately the top 10 items in the list are highlighted with whatever formatting you have chosen. Yeah. So now if instead of 10 you just want to see, let's say, top 2, okay, so you just have to click on this this arrow, this down and up arrow accordingly if you want to change it, or else you can just enter whatever number you want and the top 2 is now displayed in the list. So this is how the top 10 items works. Similarly, bottom 10 items will also work the same way. So you can just display, let's say the bottom 5 items if you want. So 10 to 50 is being highlighted. Okay. Now coming to the top 10% and bottom 10%, very straightforward. So if you select top 10%, the top 10% of the values will be highlighted based on whichever formatting you have chosen. And if you want to change it, you can change it to, let's say 50. So 50%. So there are 11 entries here. That's why you are, seeing this 5 for now. So if you make it to, let's say 55%, now you are seeing 6 values highlighted. Okay. So you can play around with this. Now coming to above average and below average, if you select above average, it will display all the values which are higher than the average value of the list. So what is the average value of the list, you may ask? For that, just select the values. If it's a numerical column, you just select the values. And at the bottom here, if you follow my cursor, you will see average listed as 60. So 60 is the average of this numerical list. Okay. So when you select the list and go to above average, it will display all values which are above 60. That is the average. Okay. Similarly, you can click on top bottom rules and click on below average, and that will display all values below the average, that is 60. All right. Now coming to data bars. Now data bars and color scales and icon sets are pretty much identical, but just in terms of how they are displayed. So you select the data, click on conditional formatting, click on data bars, and then you have options to select the gradient or solid fill. So when you select gradient, you will see a dark to lighter shade of colors appearing based on the value that is provided in the cells. Okay. So the higher the value, the complete cell would be filled with the gradient. A bit lower the value, you will see, for example, 110 has a higher filling than 50 or 60 in that case, right? So corresponding values will be accordingly filled. Similarly, if you don't want a gradient and want a solid fill, like a complete color instead of gray and, instead of dark and light shades, you can use a solid fill. Coming to color scales. So color scales, there are multiple options again here. So for example, the first option, it displays your value in terms of red and green and the neutral values, or the values in the middle with a yellowish shade. So that's what you are seeing here. So just look at column F here. That's how you can understand it. Coming to icon sets, very similar to color scales and data bars, but instead of the colors or gradients, you will see icons here. So for higher values, now you're seeing, an up arrow. For lower values, you're seeing a down arrow, right? And for values in the middle, you're seeing arrow to the right with yellow color, right? So you can change it if you want. If you just want a gray, pattern, you can do it. If you want shapes, instead you can select the shapes from here, indicators from here, flags from here, and there are multiple options available like this. All right. So that's basically about it. And then you have a new rule option also if you want, to customize your rules further and add multiple parameters. You can use the new rule option. All right. One last thing in this video is managing rules. So for example, if you have already applied a rule, let's say, and you go to conditional formatting and then go to manage rules, all your rules will be shown here. And if you want to remove any rule, you can use the delete rule. You can make changes using edit rule, and you can also add a new rule directly from this manage rule option. You can also change the data source. For example, now you have selected this data. If in future the data increases and you want to apply this formatting to that data also, you can directly change the data from here by selecting the appropriate cells. All right. So that's basically about it. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please go ahead and click on the subscribe button. And thanks for watching. See you with another video in the coming week.